Hello again everyone. It is time for the questions and answers. Starting off, I would like to thank all of you who asked questions to make this video possible. I will say I will be answering every question that was asked. Also, this video will be divided up into 2 parts. The first will be questions for me and the second will be questions for Zane. I will be also going in order of who asked which questions first. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to the questions. The first question is from Mobuzilla. He asks, "Can I drink your juice?" This must be some kind of meme I don't get. But, no. It's my juice. Next is from CMQ3. They ask, what would happen if Caillou fought me in Sans? Well, considering I can't even beat Undyne, I bet I will get my ass beat. Not to mention 2 against 1 isn't exactly a fair fight. Next question was asked by both Harry Cunningham and Tracy Jacks. They both ask, why am I bald? Truth be told, I actually like my head that way. I think being bald is quite stylish. After all, many great characters are bald, like my personal favorite, One Punch Man. Next question was one from Jonathan Della Santina. He asked, what is everyone's favorite genre of music? Personally, I always liked a bit of rap. I know Rosie likes Christian rock, Boris and Darius like 80s music, and that's about all that I know. Next question was asked by Nate Animations and Groundings. They ask, do I have great-grandparents? I'm honest, not too sure. I know for sure I have grandparents, but at this point I'm not sure if they are still around. I've never met them. That's perhaps a question I may need to ask Mom and Dad about. Next question also comes from 2 people, Adrian and Heather Lucas. They both ask, what food do I like from Chuck E. Cheese's? Pizza, of course. I know a lot of people at one point didn't understand why I didn't like Boris's pizza and was wondering if I hated pizza, and I don't. It's just I hate pineapple on it. But their pizza is always my go-to thing on the menu. Next question is from Alicia Can Do. They ask, when is my show going to end? Like Mr. Bones' Wild Ride, it will never end. Next question is from Master Mario 64. He asks, what is my Plotagon voice? I use a voice Scott. Next there's a series of questions from Fairy Tale Fanatic 2001. First is, what is my favorite TV show? SpongeBob, of course. Second, what is my favorite fast food restaurant? McDonald's, because their chicken nuggets rule. Third is, what is my favorite sport? I don't really like a whole lot of sports, but one of the few ones that I do enjoy is kickball. Don't know, I've always had fun with that one. Fourth is, what is my favorite drink? Dr. Pepper is my favorite. Then finally, what is my favorite movie? Well, besides this SpongeBob movie obviously, I also like Emperor's New Groove. It's an older movie, but I absolutely love it. Now, we get to the final series of questions from me from James Rosario. The first one they ask is, what is my favorite video game? Fortnite for me. I might not be great, but I can't help but have fun with that one. Next is, what is my favorite animal? I've always liked cats, but besides cats, I have to say kangaroos. Next is, what is my opinion on 2020? Well, we're not even at the end of the year yet, like many others, I just want it to end. So many bad things have happened this year to everyone. Though I suppose the only way we can go after this is up. Next is, what is my favorite band? Well, rap is my favorite, and I would say 50 Cent is my favorite rapper. For band, I have to give it to Pilot Red Sun. Check their music out if you haven't. Then, the final question from me is, what is your favorite candy? Reese's Cups. Well, I'm afraid those are all the questions that I can answer. Before we go to Zane for his questions, we have one for Dora, so I will now bring it to her.
Hey everyone, I'm Dora. So I got a question from Alicia Can Do. They ask, why am I an explorer? Well, There is a lot of things still not known to us in this world. Someone has to go out there to find out what's out there, you know? Also, touching on a question asked by Jonathan Deli Santina, I like pop music. Anyways, thanks for the question.
Anyways, thank you all for the questions. I will now bring it to Zane, who will be answering the questions that you asked him. So, if your question hasn't been answered yet, don't worry. Zane will have an answer.
Hello everyone, now it is time for my portion of the questions. So, first we got a series of questions from John Eddy. His first question is, what is my favorite color? I like red. Next question is, when do go bowling? Well, assuming you mean when do I go bowling, I don't do it at a particular time, but I used to go bowling quite often with my family. Next is, when is my birthday? Mine is October the 11th. Next is, can a girl like my videos? Frankly, I don't care who likes my videos. As long as they like them, that's all that matters.
Then finally, who is my favorite YouTuber?
Ryan Higa will always be my all-time favorite YouTuber, but currently, I really like Gray Still Plays, so he would probably be my current favorite YouTuber. Next up is a series of questions from James Davenport. First he asks, which is better, Videon or Plotagon? This is an interesting question because I personally don't have a clear answer to which one is better, honestly. There are advantages and disadvantages with both. Plotagon is better in the means of ease of use, while Videon is better in the variety of things you can do. So basically, Plotagon is easier to use, but you can do more with Videon. Next up is, will you ever make a Rosie Gets Grounded video? I already have. Check out Rosie Finally Gets Grounded. Next up is, how old am I? I'm 21. Then, finally, what got me into animating? This one was also kind of asked by CK Lego Bricks, as he asked how I became a YouTuber. Well, originally I started by watching other Caillou Gets Grounded videos, and honestly, I wanted to give it a try myself, because I thought I could make some pretty funny videos. Originally, I started making videos about my characters, but eventually I ended up going with Caillou Gets Grounded to give my own take to the series. Now we return to the rest of the questions that were asked by Jonathan Fella Santia. First is, how long does it take to produce each of my videos? Well, that one certainly depends. It depends on how long the video is, and if I'm using Plotagon or Videon. For Plotagon, it's usually a few hours, and Videon, it's much longer. I also work a full-time job, so while it isn't the most time-consuming activity I do, my full job is always first priority. Next question is, have I ever considered making a place where fans can chat and meet each other? Honestly, I would love to do something like that eventually, but I don't know which people would prefer, so if you're watching up to this point, let me know what you think about this and what platform would you like to use. Next question is, besides Caillou, what other media influences me? Whole bunch of things, really. Some of the episodes I make can be based on things that are going on around in the world, episodes I've seen on TV, and inspiration in general can come from anywhere for me. Their final question is, if your videos could be sponsored by any company, which would I like to be sponsored by? That's an easy one. Calpico. They're a Japanese drink company from Japan. I had their drinks during my trip and I love them. I would absolutely love to be sponsored by them. Now then, next we have a question from Benjamin the Plotagonist. Unfortunately, I already answered 2 of the 3 questions, so we're left with, what is my favorite video I ever made? I would say Caillou's Trip to Lazy Town Part 2. My goal for that video was to make the story for that episode somewhat realistic to what you would find in an actual episode of Lazy Town, and I think I definitely succeeded in that regard. Next question is from Tracy Jacks. They ask, will I ever make a non-Caillou based Plotagon animation? As I mentioned earlier, I first started by making videos with my own characters, but unfortunately those didn't do as well as the Caillou videos, so probably not. I hate to say that, but it's the truth if you look at the view counts. Still, I wouldn't mind trying something new every now and again, so we'll see. Now the final questions come from Ranger Quarty. First is, have I ever watched anime, and what is my favorite? I have indeed watched anime. I do fairly often. My personal favorite is Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You can probably find it online. It's really good. Be sure to check it out. Next question is, what is the one thing on the internet that my friends tricked me into looking into that I wish to forget about? I actually have a bit of a story for that. Back when I was in middle school, I played a game called Rumble Fighter. The game had a premium currency like most free-to-play games, and a friend told me how to get them for free. They sent me a link and I looked it up and yeah, I got tricked. Luckily, nothing bad happened. I just saw a gif of something inappropriate. And now the final question. How do I envision the future? Well, with how things are going and considering what my work has done, I'd imagine there will be a large push to work from home, as well as a larger priority to order stuff online. I don't think the future is going to be bad per se, but I'm at least hopeful that things will eventually get better than what they are right now. And with that, I have answered every single question that was asked. This was a lot of fun to do, so I'm sure I will do it again in the future. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.